Hello and welcome to the last concluding and the fourth video on the topic evolution of higher learning and research in post-independent India. In this video we will look at the role of the Department of Higher Education under the Ministry of Human Resource Development and the regulatory bodies, and at last we will discuss the main points suggested by NEP 2020 in regard to higher education. Let us start with the Department of Higher Education. So, the Department of Higher Education under Ministry of Human Resource Development, Government of India is responsible for overall development of basic infrastructure of the higher education, both in terms of policy and planning. It looks after improvement in access and quality in higher education. So, it was responsible for a number of things. For example, enhancement of gross enrollment ratio by expanding access through all modes, whether it is offline, online, distance mode, conventional mode, any mode, especially for the educationally backward section of the society. It aims at improving the quality and promoting academic reforms. Then it aims at setting up of new educational institutions and also capacity expansion and improvement of the existing institution, both establishment of new institutions as well as increasing the capacity of the existing institutions and quality improvement of these institutions. Then it is also responsible for integration of technology in higher education and development of vocational education and skill development in higher education, integration of vocational courses for vocational subjects, skill development courses in higher education. It is also responsible for development of Indian languages by introducing various Indian languages and giving prominent places in the university courses. Then it is also responsible for international collaboration in the field of education. So, these are the role played by the Department of Higher Education under MHRD. Now, let us look at the regulatory structure of higher education in India. In India, universities can be classified into 5 types based on their management. Central universities, which are looked after by central government, state universities looked after by state government, private universities which are managed by private enterprises, private bodies, then deemed to be universities which are not universities, not actually universities, real universities, but institutions which are functioning at the level of university. And there are some institutes of national importance, for example, IITs, IIMs, etc. These are the different types of higher educational institutions which are running in India. Then we have a list of regulatory bodies. Apart from, till now we have been discussing in the previous videos also, we have been discussing about we have been mentioning again and again about UGC. Okay, apart from UGC, we have a list of other regulatory bodies which looks after different aspects of higher education. You can look at the list starting from medical education, from technical education, agriculture, then distance education, National Council for Rural Institutes, pharmacy education, nursing, then legal education, dental Council of India, and many. There are many. You can see the list. I think there are 12 to 13 regulatory bodies are there, which are working in different fields of higher education. In case of accreditation of higher education, we have 2 particular bodies. We have National Board of Accreditation, which is in short, which is called as NBA, and the NAAC, National Assessment and Accreditation Council, which grades the universities, which provide grades to the universities on the basis of particular criteria which are to be fulfilled by the higher educational institutions, and then based on assessment of the higher education institution, these grades are provided by these accrediting institutions. Let us now delve into the provisions which are mentioned in the National Education Policy 2020, the recent one. So, you can see that there are some drastic changes, radical changes in the NEP 2020, but there are some points which have been taken from earlier commissions also. Okay. So, let us start. Some of this you might have already discussed or you have read in the NEP 2020. So, there is a provision of multiple exit undergraduate program in NEP 2020. It means that you can enter into an undergraduate program and you can exit in the first year or in the second year or in the third year. You have multiple exit points and you can have a certificate for that exit also. As of now, we have unless we are implementing NEP 2020, what we do, if we do not complete our 3 years of undergraduate program, we are not given any certificate of completion. But if now after NEP 2020 is implemented, what one can do is one can complete 1 year of 4 years degree undergraduate program and take a diploma certificate or diploma certificate, a certificate or a diploma or a undergraduate certificate. Okay, so there are different multiple points for exit for a student. Then multidisciplinary approach has been encouraged at undergraduate level, means the student should not be confined to a particular discipline but should be given flexibility, choice to choose different subjects of one's interest. Okay, for example, if I am studying history in my major, then I should be able to take physics or games or sports or music or anything I like for my minors. Okay, so it should be multidisciplinary. So it makes the curriculum flexible. Then it emphasized on integration of vocational education into mainstream education. Instead of separate vocational education, it suggested for integrating vocational education in the mainstream education itself. Okay, so someone studying BA in history or BA in education or BA in biology will be able to take some vocational courses while doing the same thing, while doing the BA in history or physics. Okay, so integration of vocational education into mainstream. Then there is a system of credit transfer. So you can earn some credit from one institution, then earn some credit from another institution and get your credits banked together, which is called as National Academic Credit Bank. Okay, for this credit transfer system, it suggested for establishment of a National Academic Credit Bank, so that the credits which are collected by a student are accumulated in the credit bank, whether it is from one institution or 2 institutions or 3 institutions. Okay, then it suggested for establishment of National Education Exchange Program for internationalization of higher education. Then it suggested for greater institutional autonomy and decentralization in case of management. It also suggested for establishment of multidisciplinary education and research universities and a new regulatory body of Higher Education Commission in India. Okay, this in replacing the UGC and other regulatory bodies, there should be a new regulatory body which will be called as Higher Education Commission of India. Then it categorized the higher education institutions into 3 types: teaching intensive university, research intensive universities and autonomous degree granting colleges. Okay, so these are the categories of higher education institutions suggested by NEP 2020. It also recommended for digitalization of teaching learning process, as it had also been suggested by previous commissions also that technology should be integrated into education. National Educational Technology Forum to be established for promoting the use of technology in higher education, and it suggested for establishment of a National Research Foundation to fund and promote research in all disciplines in the higher education. So these are some of the major highlights, focus of NEP 2020 in regard to higher education. So with this, I think we can conclude the topic of evolution of higher learning and research in post-independent India. Till now we have discussed starting from Radhakrishnan Commission till NEP 2020. The topic has been divided into 4 videos, 4 parts, but I recommend you to study the main documents of each of these commissions for getting in-depth knowledge and understanding of what the recommendations are, because all the recommendations cannot be included in this kind of videos or classes. So it would be better if you go through the recommendations of each of these committees one by one. Particularly you should be familiar with the NEP 2020. Okay, you will find many recommendations and discussions on higher education which have not been included in the present video. Okay, so I suggest you to go through all these commissions and committee reports and the policies. That will give you that confidence of writing or understanding or knowing what are the different stages and how the higher education system has evolved right from 1947 to till date. I hope these videos will be helpful for you. Thank you very much.